Hi again, it is Michelle with Puzzle, and today I'm going to walk through some best practices for your step and section sidebar. As you all know, one of the differentiators for Puzzle, as far as process mapping goes, is the context that is held within the step and section sidebar, as well as the benefits that come from using structured data when assigning the roles and tools involved. So I'll use some examples of how we at Puzzle use Puzzle and the best practices that we hold ourselves to as far as the documentation within the sidebar. So let's get started with one of our customer success processes. And the first step here in this example is preparing for our live one-on-one current state calls with our project contacts. So let's use this step as an example, going from top to bottom and reviewing the components of deep documentation and the benefits that it provides you. So starting off right at the top, we have our step status. This indicates whether it's live, whether you're still drafting it, if it's in progress, if you're building it, if you are officially testing it, or if it's archived. Not only does it live here on the top of this step sidebar, but it's also indicated in the top left-hand corner of every step. We have a different icon for live versus testing versus archived, which grays it out. So that is the first piece, is making sure this documentation is up to date with what status the step is in. The next piece of information is the step title. We want this to be action-based and short so that ideally you get the gist of what it's saying just by looking at it here on the map. Then we have all of the tools involved. And so there's a few options here, whether you tag the tool in the step title name or whether you choose to add them here one by one. We want to make sure that all of the tools that are involved in this process are tagged here, because oftentimes in today's world, it does take several tools to accomplish one piece of the process. In this case, for this step where we're preparing to meet with our live clients, we use Typeform to review their client responses. We use Puzzle to start documenting out what we've learned. We use Otter to review the sales call. We also use Loom if the sales rep filmed a video to fill us in with extra context. It's important that all of those tools are recognized here. If one tool is the more dominant tool, you can click on that to change the icon here. So let's say Loom was the most dominant in this case. I can choose that and make that the icon that's shown here. But in this case, we'll stick with Typeform. Now, continuing down the sidebar, we have the roles section. Puzzle relies on roles, not souls. And so it's important that the particular role that steps in here and all of the affected roles using the RACI model are captured here. So in this case, two roles are responsible for preparing for these meetings: the senior IT project manager, that's me, and our solutions architect. However, if there were other people on the team, we can add them here by clicking the plus button. Let's say our client, for example. So in this case, the Puzzle client is not responsible, but they could be consulted. If we are preparing for their one-on-one calls and questions arise, perhaps we need to reach out to the client. And so utilizing the RACI model, responsible, approver, consulted, and informed, and tagging all of those roles appropriately is a best practice in your sidebar. Now let's move down to the notes section. When you first create your steps, you'll notice that it is blank. So I'll add a step here as an example. Puzzle has chosen to always start off our steps with an overview section where we highlight it and we use Markdown for heading 1. And then we also have a useful links section at the bottom. However you and your team chooses to structure the notes section is totally up to you. However, we do recommend you have some process or some structure, some general guidelines for the type of information that goes into your step and the format that it follows. If we take a look again at this step as an example, we have a general description of what this step is and why it's important, followed by any specific actions that somebody would need to know in order to complete this step, and then followed by the useful links that this step requires. And so the end goal of having documentation like this would be having anyone on your team, let's say a new team member was just hired, or somebody is out for maternity leave and a new member needs to temporarily step in. We want this documentation to be able to guide the new member on how to complete the step, async and self-serve. So adding as much context and useful links as possible so that the information doesn't just live in one person's head, but it's visible and accessible to anyone on the team. Some steps might require a Loom walkthrough or a scribe step-by-step, and wherever that's the case, the best practice would be to film a Loom video or record the scribe and embed it directly here on the step. So the great thing about the puzzle sidebar is that it does embed Loom and Scribe natively so that you're able to have all of that context without leaving puzzle. And there are all kinds of useful features within the sidebar that you can use. For example, as you're writing the step name, you can use the @ sign to tag both roles and tools. So let's say I wanted to say the customer support representative handles a ticket. I can hit @ on my keyboard and start typing customer support representative, which is a role that already exists within my Teams tab. Responds to ticket in. Again, I use the @ sign and start typing the name of my tool and hit enter to add it. And you can see it automatically tags the role as responsible and the tool icon is added. So there are quick little keyboard tricks that you can do to start building out your steps quickly. And I also want to point out some of those additional markdown options that you have in the step sidebar. So you can list things out in bullet points, as well as numerical lists. You can make text bold or italicized, give it H1 or H2 heading. You can add script. Also add emphasis to your notes by highlighting and making your notes blue. And of course, the useful links. Similarly, you highlight the words and you add your hyperlink here. Any links you add will be automatically opened up in a new tab. You also can indicate the step type. By default, it will land on a manual step, but on this dropdown, you can choose if it's an automated step, if it's an email, if it's a delay, if it's a document, etc. Any of these categories you can then pivot on in your table view to be able to filter, to slice and dice your operations in an actionable way. So for example, let's say this is an email. You'll notice that icon changes in the bottom right-hand corner. So overall, the best practice is to ensure all of the information is filled in, the step status, the name of the step, all of the tools involved, the step type, all of the responsible roles using the RACI model, and then as many notes as possible, including the overview, best practices, and useful links. Now let's talk about the best practices for the section documentation. So if I click on this whole section called Customer Success, Current State Phase, you can see it's outlined in blue and it covers this handful of steps. Now the section sidebar automatically rolls up all of the roles and all of the tools that were tagged on this whole collection of steps. And similarly, we would want to fill out the information on this section sidebar with an overview describing what this section does, what are the best practices, what are the end goals, and adding any useful links down at the bottom. So having that shared visibility and using the structured data of the roles and the tools and the step type gives a lot of benefit for anyone trying to become acclimated to the process, making informed decisions on how to change process, as well as being able to view your operations from different vantage points. And so if that wasn't enough of a reason to ensure all of your step sidebar information is fully and accurately filled out, I do want to show you the other benefit that I mentioned earlier. By clicking this list view here on the left, it's going to take all of my steps that exist on this Workflows tab. And now it has flattened them out into this list view with the step ID, the step name, all of the tools involved, any tasks that are added, what section it lives in, the status, the role, etc. And so now you can slice and dice this data. So for example, let's say you want to do an audit of your processes and you want to see where are all of the manual steps that are happening throughout your operations. You can come to this list view and sort by where the step type is manual. And it's going to hone in and only pull that list of all of the step types that are currently manual. So now you can start going through this list to see if there's any opportunity where you can automate any of these tasks. You can take it a step further and say, I want to see all of the manual tasks where we use Gmail, for example. And now you're honing in on all of those steps where you could potentially automate some emails. And so as you scroll through and you're going through all of these steps, if you see one that seems interesting, you can click to the ID and it will take you right back to the Workflows tab and hone you in on that specific step. And while we're here, I also do want to mention a newer feature that was just rolled out, which is the Step Cost Calculator. This is still in its early phase of development. And if you're interested in that feature, here's a sneak peek of what that looks like with the cost per run and the monthly step cost total, as well as the annual step cost total. And it will show you the runtime in the top right-hand corner. So this is a really useful feature when you're auditing your manual tasks and how much they are costing your team and the potential savings that you could accrue by automating them. So that was a rundown on best practices for deep documentation that Puzzle allows. Add all of your context and indicate step status, roles, and tools involved in a structured way that allow you to experience the benefit of a relational database. How else are you guys using the sidebar? Let us know so we can all collaborate and raise the bar together on process documentation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.